Have you ever stopped, truly stopped, to ask yourself this fundamental question? Is reality real? You might think the answer is obvious. Of course it's real. You navigate through it every day. You feel, you see, you exist. But what if I told you that our reality might be one colossal illusion? That the very essence of what we call real could be far from what we think it is? I promise, by the end of this video, you will never look at your surroundings the same way again. Let's dive deep into a philosophical rabbit hole together. So, first things first, what do we even mean when we say reality? In simple terms, reality is the sum total of everything that exists. But here's where it gets interesting. How do we know what exists? Is it merely a construction of our senses? Here's an example. The chair you're sitting on, solid, dependable, undoubtedly real, right? But when you zoom in on an atomic level, that solid chair is mostly empty space. It's a collection of atoms buzzing around like an intricate dance of energy. Solid? Hardly. So what is reality really made of? Let's rewind human history for a moment and visit the Greek philosopher Plato and his mind-bending allegory of the cave. Plato imagines prisoners chained inside a cave, their entire lives devoted to watching shadows flicker on a wall. Those shadows, for them, are their entire reality. They know no alternative. But what if one prisoner escapes, ventures outside the cave, and sees the actual world? The sun, the trees, colors they never dreamed of. That escaped prisoner would immediately realize that everything they had ever considered real was nothing more than a shadow, a mere echo of something far greater. Now think about this. Could we, in the modern world, be those prisoners? When I first stumbled upon this idea, I paused. What if everything, the colors we see, the air we breathe, even our favorite morning coffee, what if these are the shadows on our cave walls? If this seems extreme, let's add a modern twist: simulation theory. This idea, popularized by philosopher Nick Bostrom, proposes that we might be living in an extremely advanced computer simulation. Stay with me here. Think about the video games of the past decade. 10 years ago, pixels on a screen formed blocky humans. Today, hyper-realistic graphics fool our eyes into thinking we're watching live-action worlds. Now imagine an advanced species, thousands or even millions of years ahead of us. Could they simulate entire universes, complete with conscious beings who have no clue they're in a simulation? Bostrom argues that, statistically, if simulations are possible and numerous, it becomes more likely than not that we're living in one right now. I know what you're thinking. Okay, but my life feels too authentic. I feel pain, love, emotions. A program can't fake that. But herein lies the twist. Our brains, and really, our whole perception system, are nothing more than electrical signals being processed. Right now, if scientists wired electrodes to your brain, they could make you believe you're anywhere, experiencing anything, even eating your favorite meal, without any of it being real. So again, how do we define what's real? All right, let's shift gears a little. How about the concept of quantum mechanics? If reality was a stage play, quantum mechanics appears to reveal the hidden strings holding everything together. Take quantum entanglement. Two particles can communicate instantly, regardless of the distance between them, be it 2 inches or 2 galaxies. Einstein, the great critic of this, called it spooky action at a distance. It defies common sense because it suggests that parts of reality might be fundamentally connected beyond space and time. Are those the hidden threads of our universe? And what about the observer effect in quantum physics? Experiments show that particles behave differently when they're being observed. That's right. Just by looking at something, you may be changing its behavior. So what does that mean for our understanding of a shared reality? Could reality exist only when it's being observed? Kind of like a cosmic version of, if a tree falls in a forest and no one's around, does it make a sound? By now, your brain might be spinning. And trust me, mine is too. But let's go even further. If human perception, our senses, our thoughts, even our memories, can so easily be fooled, what happens if we examine our existence through the lens of philosophy? Have you ever heard of solipsism, the idea that only your own mind can be certain to exist? Everything outside of it, your friends, the stars, reality itself, it could, theoretically, be an intricate show being played for your consciousness and your consciousness alone. Does that sound far-fetched? Maybe. But let's step back for a moment. Look around you and pick up anything. A book, a glass of water. Now ask yourself, what is this object without your perception of it? Is it still blue, round, wet? Or do those qualities only exist because you're there to perceive them? In other words, does reality even exist independently of the observer? Over the centuries, many philosophers, from Descartes to Kant, have grappled with this question. And guess what? We still don't have an answer. Surely you might wonder, science will give us clarity, right? It's tempting to think that by dissecting and analyzing reality, biological, chemical, physical, we'll one day resolve this debate. Yet, even in science, the deeper we dig, the stranger reality gets. Quantum particles pop in and out of existence. Time bends and twists depending on speed and gravity. There's even a debate on whether numbers themselves, the backbone of our understanding, actually exist independently or are pure human invention. So where does this leave us? Are we prisoners in Plato's cave, mistaking shadows for substance? Or are we characters inside an unimaginably complex simulation? Or perhaps quantum mechanics has shattered the traditional meanings of space, time, and materiality, leaving us with threads of reality that are dynamic and observer-dependent. Here's the startling thing. There might never be definitive answers to these questions. And maybe, just maybe, that's okay. What if the purpose of examining reality isn't to find a concrete answer, but to engage our capacity for curiosity? To confront our assumptions and see the world from new, mind-expanding perspectives? Here's my question for you, and I'd love to know your thoughts. If reality as you know it might be an illusion, what would change about how you live your life? Would kindness look different? Would achievement matter less? Or would each moment suddenly glow with an irreplaceable significance? Let's start a conversation in the comments. After all, questioning reality doesn't pull us away from life. It brings us closer to understanding it in ways we never imagined. Thank you all for joining me on this mind-bending inquiry. If this video got you thinking, please share it with someone who loves a good existential rabbit hole. And just one more thing. Next time you look at that chair, remember, it's not nearly as solid as it seems. Stay curious. I'll see you next time.